Tiny houses can make brilliant B&Bs. They're fun, exciting and adventurous places for guests to stay, but they're also brilliant for hosts. And in the case of the next couple that we're about to meet, turning their beautiful tiny house into a stunning Airbnb has actually enabled them to keep their own home. Hi Alison, how are you?
Good, thanks. It's so nice to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you, and I am so very excited to see your beautiful home here.
And we're so excited to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Now this looks like a really great design. I'm always excited to see single level tiny homes.
Yes, we didn't want the loft side of it. We wanted everything on one level, just so much easier to live in.
Absolutely. Now first of all, can you tell me a little bit about how you actually came to own a tiny house?
Well, we saw one of these homes about 18 months before we bought it, and it got to a point in our life where we were ready to buy it to actually live in ourselves. So we decided to purchase a tiny home and put it on our section next to our house because Mike had failing health.
When we decided to buy the tiny home, in the previous 6 months I'd had a shoulder replacement and an operation on my thumb and wrist. So the light at the end of the tunnel for me in that year was slowly dwindling. So after 34 years of truck driving, I had to make the decision in 2019 that I could no longer do it.
So the tiny home, it was put on the site here for us to live in so that we could rent out our house and generate a bit of income. However, things changed and it ended up that it's become an Airbnb. So yeah, our life's kind of moved on in a different direction. But the tiny home has meant that it's given us lots of options.
And how do you find being an Airbnb host?
Love it. Absolutely love it. Just meeting people every day. Post-COVID, obviously no overseas guests, but loads of Kiwi guests. And it's just so neat. They're coming from all walks of life, coming to Tauranga for all different reasons. We meet and greet. And yeah, we just enjoy it.
And especially with a home as unique as a tiny house on wheels, you must get so much interest specifically in this place.
Oh, absolutely. When the Airbnb guests message us, when they've made a booking, probably 75 to 80% of the time they say we want to stay there because it's a tiny home. Quite a few of our guests actually stay in the tiny home because they either want to just experience the tiny home as a fun place to stay, or they want to experience it to possibly buy one. In fact, we do get quite a lot of people that do want to experience it to live in one and do go on to buy their own tiny homes. So having that opportunity to actually stay in one is perfect for them because there's not that many opportunities to try before you buy.
Now being a single level tiny house, I see this one's a little bit longer than usual. I see it's on a triple axle trailer as well. So what are the dimensions of this home?
10.7 metres long and 2.5 wide.
Yeah, great size.
Absolutely, heaps of living space despite it being a tiny home, just the layout makes it so roomy.
Yeah, very unusual spot being right next to the highway like this.
But with the tiny home being so well insulated, when all the doors and windows are closed, you don't actually hear the traffic. But it's also handy. So people staying here, it's easy access to the highway to head where they're going.
Very true. Now, I cannot ignore the beautiful fuchsias you've got there.
Yes, the gardens around here grow really well. Those fuchsias were donated to me by a friend of my mum's. They have absolutely taken off. The Tauranga weather here makes everything grow so well.
It's all that volcanic soil.
Absolutely.
Well, the home looks fantastic from the outside and I am super excited to check out the interior. Can we take a look?
Come on in.
Thank you very much. After you. Oh, now this is just lovely.
It's so bright and airy, isn't it?
It really is. It feels very, very spacious in here too.
It is. I think with the high ceilings and the run of windows right down the front of the house just makes it that much more feeling of space.
Having the 10 metres of length as well, you can really feel the extra length in here.
Absolutely, yes. And that's what we liked about it, was having everything on that one level and having that extra length made it feel more like a home.
Now, I love the design of this kitchen. It's very open and very spacious, obviously very open to the rest of the home as well.
But plenty of cupboard space. And
Lots of storage.
with this size, it made it feel more like a home for us because we were going to be living in here. Why not have a decent sized kitchen?
Absolutely. I love the butler's sink.
Yeah, they're neat, aren't they? It's those sorts of features that meant we could live in it. You know, it just felt like an absolute luxurious home.
Really nice appliances in here as well.
Yes, we've got the gas oven and the gas hob. We just went for the 2-burner hob because we figured 4-burner takes up quite a bit of bench space. And at the end of the day, we only use 2 at a time.
Yeah, makes sense. I really like the combination of the quartz counters and the light blue backsplash you've got there too.
Yeah, we chose the backsplash ourselves and I just adore that colour. And complemented with the strip lighting at night time, it just looks amazing. The countertops, I just love having stone. So easy to maintain.
And I love the addition of this breakfast bar as well. It really gives you so much additional prep area, space to sit, but having it paired with these bifold windows and being able to really connect to the outdoors is really special, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the size of this table because not only do you sit at it to eat, you can set it up as an office at one end and still have loads of space. And definitely those windows, once they're opened up, it's just an amazing feeling.
And it's impossible to ignore the use of all of this gorgeous stained glass in here.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? That was one of the main things we liked about this tiny home. They just are an amazing feature. They generate extra light. They sparkle.
And it's so easy to think of stained glass as being something which is quite old-fashioned, but here they're combined within the context of this beautifully modern home, and they just really work.
Oh yes, yeah, there's nothing old-fashioned about them. They just make it an amazing feature in each of the rooms.
And what do we have behind us here?
The bathroom, come and have a look.
Thank you. Oh, this is brilliant. Again, a very spacious feeling bathroom.
It is, yep. There's plenty of space. You've got a full-size shower. That was one of the things that we wanted to live in here, if we were living in it ourselves, is having a decent shower.
Great to see you've got a washing machine in here as well.
Yeah, it might be a tiny home, but you've still got to have all the appliances.
You certainly do. And I love that you've been able to continue the quartz countertops in here as well.
Yes, it's all got to match right through. Yeah, that was one thing I liked, is just the flow of the house right through every room.
Now the stained glass window really dominates this room, doesn't it?
It does, and we chose the colour because it just gives a bit more privacy in the bathroom. So that was the reason for doing a different window in this room.
Nice shelving, vanity mirror, and again, plenty of storage in here.
Absolutely, yep. That was the one thing that we felt was essential, is to have storage in every single room.
And then over here we have your lounge.
Now, it might be compact, but it's really comfortable. It's a 2.5-seater sofa, so there's plenty of space.
Yep.
Got a couple of footstools there to pull up, relax. Got the bigger TV. My husband insisted on that one.
Fair enough too. It is a great size TV for a tiny house.
It is, yes, and it also swivels so that you can lie in bed and watch TV as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent design. And especially there with that feature wall, it just brings so much character in.
I think it's actually quite neat to have that. I think it actually makes the lounge area feel bigger, having that on there.
And then of course behind the feature wall here we have your bedroom, and there really are a lot of advantages to having a downstairs bedroom, aren't there?
Absolutely, particularly as an Airbnb, we have older guests, so they don't really want to be climbing up and down a staircase and crawling into bed. So no, the single level is a huge attraction.
Very comfortable room again, lots of storage.
Yes, plenty of wardrobe space. The hanging space is great for when we have guests coming for weddings. They like to hang up their dresses and their suits and things, so it's really useful.
So what do your guests think of this space?
I absolutely love it. Every guest that comes in, they get to the door and they just go, wow. They just love it.
Now the decision to start renting out this home as accommodation, this happened as a result of your husband's injury and the loss of a job. How has this actually been for you as a replacement job?
Love it. Absolutely love it, because we get to be right next to our work. We get up in the morning, it's 20 steps out to the tiny home to clean it after our Airbnb guests, and it's working well. It's lifestyle. We just love the lifestyle.
And so how do you find the process of being an Airbnb host?
It's just so easy. Basically, Airbnb takes care of everything. The guests book through Airbnb, they send me an email, I respond to that, We wait for them to show up, Airbnb pays us, job done. So it allows us just to get on with the other things that we need to do, and we just take care of the cleaning ourselves. So it honestly is just extremely easy.
Now, Mike was a truck driver. Does he miss it?
He does. He absolutely does. There is a bonus to living next to a highway. He still gets to see the trucks going past and his mates toot out to him. But he definitely misses being out there, out and about, that freedom of just being on the road.
Totally. But being able to do this is a pretty nice consolation, right?
It is, because he's swapped that freedom of being out on the road to the freedom of just being able to do what he wants at home. It is definitely a lifestyle change, but we're enjoying that lifestyle change.
And what was the cost of realising this build?
The total cost of actually buying the tiny home and setting it up, so just the things like the cushions and the furnishings and setting up outside with a little bit of fencing and stuff, was about $150,000 all up.
Yeah, that's a great result, especially when you consider the fact that this is a wonderful asset, but also a business for you.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been wonderful that we could take this on. We were going to live in it, but the fact that we can actually take it on as a business now is an added bonus.
Yeah, and ultimately it's actually being able to run this tiny house as an Airbnb that has enabled you to remain in your own home.
Yes, exactly, yes.
For me, it means security. You know, without this, we would have had to have sold. You know, we couldn't survive without having this little bit extra here. It's keeping our heads above water, just simply because of the change of my lifestyle. I've come to the conclusion, well, I know that I can't do what I used to do, but this is what we do now and I love it.
Yeah, having the tiny home now has really, I think, improved our lives, because I get to have Mike at home with me. It means that our opportunities for the future are far greater. It means that we get to stay in our own home. Our lifestyle is such that it's not just me at home and Mike at work all of the time. We're working together.
Yeah.
And I actually really like working together.
I love that.
And so what do you think the future holds for you both now?
Well, we're just loving this lifestyle. I think if this can carry on, then we'll be happy.
Perfect plan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, as you get older, you realise that life's too short, and to have a lifestyle like this is an absolute bonus.
I completely agree. Well, Alison, you have an absolute treasure of a tiny house here. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
You're absolutely welcome. Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. What Mike and Alison have created here is incredibly special. For some, a tiny house means a home, a place to live. For them though, this tiny house means they get to keep their home. After Mike lost his health and his ability to do a job which he loved, this tiny home has given them a brand new income, a brand new adventure that they can do together, and a whole new lease on life. I want to say a huge thank you to Airbnb for sponsoring this video and helping to make what we do possible. Over the years, we have seen some seriously cool, ultra unique Airbnb properties. And it's great to discover that it's not only the guests who enjoy the experience, but it's also a really valuable experience for the hosts who get a lot out of it too. For Alison and Mike, becoming Airbnb hosts has meant that they now get to do a job that they love, and which has brought financial security back into their lives. It's meant more time spent with family, less stress, the ability to meet new people, and share a space that they love. If becoming an Airbnb host is something that you might be interested in, you can find out more by clicking the link in the description of this video.